Hey, what's up, guys? It's Troy Griffin, and I wanted to share with you a really cool story. A lot of people have been asking me, hey, how did you get involved in real estate? What was your first transaction like? Questions like that. And my start in real estate, I've been involved in real estate for about 16 years. However, I've only been an agent in Florida for 6. And unlike most of the agents, my story to begin with was insane. I had a really good run my first year, and it's just continued to grow and grow and grow. But this first story that I've got is kind of crazy. I mean, my first transaction in real estate was with a lottery winner. It's hard to believe. It was very unexpected, but let me share you how cool this story is. All right, so I'm going to start by giving you guys a little context. Now, I had just passed my real estate exam. I had just gotten my real estate license. And that same week, I signed up with a new real estate brokerage. So I was ready. I had everything in place. I was ready to go. The thing is, though, is nobody knows you're an agent. When you first get started, most people have no idea. So the first thing you need to do as a new agent is you need to do is promote through your warm market. You're going to tell everybody you know, everyone you come across, hey, I'm an agent. If you need anything involving real estate, reach out to me. It sounds cheesy, but believe it or not, you have to do that. That's the only way people will know. And there's nothing more embarrassing than someone that you're close to uses someone else for real estate. It's terrible. I mean, you want to choke them and yourself for not making them know that. But I digress. Let's get back to it. So I was promoting through everyone, my mother, my sister, my cousins, everybody I knew. I was getting the word out there. I was also promoting through my daughter. My daughter was actually a waitress. And what she would do is she would tell people at her tables. She told all the waitresses that worked at her restaurant. Everybody knew that I was a real estate agent. So ironically, my first customer ended up being a waitress that worked at the restaurant she was at. The waitress had stated that her and her boyfriend wanted to buy a house. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I'd love to help you guys out. So I got a chance to meet with them, talk to them about, what their goals were and things like that. And then I did what every agent should do, introduce them to a lender so we can actually find out how much house they can afford. That's the key. Once you know what you can work with, you get what's called a pre-approval letter, and then you're armed and ready to go out and buy a house. Okay, I did that. I introduced them to a lender. We got them situated. Then we found out what their budget was, and the budget was small. We were thinking we might have to settle for a condo or something small because we're hovering around the 100,000 mark, maybe a little bit more if they wanted to push it. But we're trying to keep their payment close to what they were paying in rent, and it was a tight budget. So, first week or so, I'm sending them properties. They're checking out all these different, properties online. They're trying to figure out, I don't even know if it's worth going. Some of these at this price point are just terrible. And I'm going, usually I'd be able to send you some that I think that I would really, want to, show you or be able to go in and see. There was very slim pickings. It was really hard to find anything worth actually the drive to go see a house. And so that went on for a week. And in the meantime, I had actually, reached out to some other people, and I had some other people that were like, hey, we're interested in buying and we're also interested in listing our house. And so these people, it had only been a couple of weeks that this couple was looking. And I was like, I go, hopefully they'll find something. Well, I'd say after the second week, I got a call, and they basically said, hey, we got some news for you. I'm like, okay, what's the news? They're like, hey, guess what? We need to increase our budget by a lot. So I'm like, why? What happened? And she goes, we won the lottery. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? And she goes, we won a scratch off, $1 million. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? That's crazy. The luck was insane for them. But I come to find out it wasn't really a lot of luck for them. They had a stack of scratch-offs, which was like about this big. I'd say they had at least 300-400 scratch-offs in there. And each scratch-off ticket was anywhere from $25 to $50 a ticket. It was insane how much they had invested in this lottery goal that they had. And sure enough, it paid off with $1 million win, which is insane. I had never heard of anyone buying that many scratch offs with the intention to win, and they did that. And so it was really a cool experience, because at that point I changed it and they said, hey, let's raise our goal. Let's say anywhere from 500,000 to 600,000. Let's look at some big houses. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I start sending them these huge, beautiful houses, right? And we're looking at it, and they're anxious. They can't wait to get out there. They haven't even cashed in their ticket yet. They're just super excited to go look. And then so we finally find some houses that they want to go look at. And when I meet up with them, I'm like, they got new cars, new SUVs. They're like styling already. I'm like, man, you guys are really, living that life already. And so it was really exciting. Everybody was all smiles. We're all happy. Like going into houses thinking, hey, it's cash buy right here. Get out of the way. If you're interested in a house, don't even think about it. If we want it, it's ours. That was the mentality. That was the goal. Well, a couple of weeks, actually maybe a week after, they decided to go turn in the ticket finally. Believe it or not, they were able to buy these cars and things like that without even using the lottery money, because it was basically on credit, on loan. They had basically been loaned those cars until they could cash their ticket and then bring in the money to pay for it. Well, we had to adjust our budget again, because there's this little guy called Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam took a huge chunk of their lottery winnings. And as most of you know, that probably left him with maybe 600,000, something like that, a little over 6, close to 7. I was like, oh man, that's terrible. And they were like, yeah, we need to readjust our budget. Let's bring it down a little bit. Let's get somewhere closer to the 350 range. I said, hey, no problem. Let's take a look and let's see what we can find for you guys. And so we started searching. And then finally we found an area where the homes, you get a lot more home for your money. We kind of had to push them out of their immediate area, put them into an area that was a little bit more, a little more on, I would say almost like country style, but it's just a little bit of a different neighborhood. The cool part about it was they were able to get this immaculate 5-bedroom, 3-bath home with a huge monster pool. I might actually I think this is the house right here. Anyway, and then they had a ridiculous pool in the back with a huge backyard. And I think the pool looked kind of like this. And so they were able to get that house, and we were able to get it. I was able to talk the owner down because we were paying cash. We got them to drop the price. I think they only spent like $235, maybe $240 for the house. It was insane. We got an incredible deal. They paid all cash. There was no questions. We didn't have to negotiate much more than here's our cash offer, take it or leave it, because they were able to go buy any house at that rate. So we got a really good deal on the house. They loved the house. They had no problem furnishing it, getting everything done. And here's the crazy part about it. Like, it wasn't that long after where they decided to sell the house. And so I was able to help them sell the house and then get them into another house. But I was looking at that house, and like right now, I kind of wish they had kept that house. So that house is it's worth close to $500,000 now. They would have doubled their money on that and then some. And but that's the crazy way it works in real estate. But it still was beneficial for them, because they parlayed the money out of that deal, bought their next house because it was all cash. They just sold it and made the profit on that. It went up in value. Then they bought a house, and now they've got a ridiculous house. It's got a BMX like set of hills, and it's insane. It's 20 acres. They really turned it into something else. It's just a huge house. It's got its own lake. Crazy house they have. And they parlay that by buying and selling their houses. So it's really turned into a sweet story. And it was my pleasure to help them. It was my first transaction, the coolest transaction I could ever have. Straight cash, no questions asked. It was a great deal. Anyway, hey, that's just one of my exciting stories in real estate. That's how I first got started, with a lottery winner. Crazy, right?